So on behalf of the organizers of 42nd annual meeting of the Astronomical Society of India, which is hosted by ISC jointly with ISRO and Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium, here I extend our warm welcome to you. I am Banibrata Mukhopadhyay, working in Department of Physics of ISC as a professor. I'm really pleased to see this time huge interest, overwhelming interest in this version of ASI. When number of participants exceeds 750, I think record in the history of ASI meeting. I'm sure next few days you will have very illuminating time, academically and otherwise. Just enjoy academic discussion as well as various other nearby places. ISC campus particularly, when most of the programs will be taking place in ISC only, ISC campus only, more precisely in this premise. I'm sure you'll be enjoying. If you face any problem, please let us know. LOC will try to rectify. Some glitches always will be there, here and there. I would say that, yeah, please cooperate with us. According to local language, salp adjust muddy. So, you know, it is basically collaborating effort. So, we are, of course, ISC people are helping you, but I'm sure people who are coming from all over the country will be there to cooperate with us. Like, you know, ISC has a long history to have collaboration. For example, more than four decades back, we had started a joint astronomy program, PhD program. I think perhaps one of the most successful PhD program of this country, and which is collaborated program jointly with many other institutes along with ISRO. And ISRO is part of this ASI along with JNP, of course. So I'm very glad again to see all of you are here. I'm sure auditorium will be much more populated with time, and very, very warm welcome once more. Now I request all the dignitaries to please come over the stage. First, ASI President, please come over. Then please, our chief guest, Sri M. Sankaran, please come over. Then I'll request JNP Director, B.R. Guru Prasad, please come over. Then I request Dean of Physical and Mathematical Sciences of ISC, Professor Kaushal Verma. Then my department chair, Professor Jaideep Kumar Basu, please come, Dada. Then very special person, SOC chair, Jasjit Bagla. Please, Professor Bagla, please. And last but not least, ASI Secretary, Sharita Vig. Continuously she is working for last, I mean, over the years, but last couple of years, but for this particular program, few months continuously. Please have your seat. Also, I would request to come over here to light the lamp. One by one, please. Now, before I hand over the proceedings to Secretary Professor Sarita Vig, I would request ASI President Professor Dipankar Banerjee to hand over a small gift to the chief guest, Sri M. Shankaran. Then I'll request Professor Kaushal Verma to hand over a memento to Professor Dipankar Banerjee. Again, Professor Verma to Dr. Guru Prasad, a small gift. Now I request Professor Jaideep Kumar Basu, Chair of the Department of Physics, to hand over a gift item to Professor Jasjit Bagla. And then, last but not least, again, Professor Basu, please hand over a gift to Professor Vig. Thank you again, very warm welcome. Now I'll hand over the microphone to Sarita. Sarita, over to you.
Thank you, Vani. So on behalf of the Astronomical Society of India, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the 42nd meeting of the ASI. We are very happy to welcome our chief guest, Sri M. Shankaranji, to the meeting, and he has graciously accepted to inaugurate the meeting. We also have with us Professor Kaushal Verma, Dean IASC, Dr. B.R. Guru Prasad, Director Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium, and Professor Jaideep Basu, Chairperson, Physics Department. We are very glad that IASC, ISRO, and JNP have come forward and jointly hosted this meeting, thus supporting a very important scientific activity of the ASI. The society was established in 1972 and has grown to become the prime association of professional astronomers in India with close to 1,000 members now. The objectives of the society are the promotion of astronomy and related branches of science in India. It also organizes scientific meetings and supports the popularization of astronomy and other similar activities. This 42nd meeting here at ISC is the largest ever meeting of the ASI with about 750 participants from 153 institutions coming from 21 states in India and 12 countries. More details about the ASI activities will be presented by President ASI in his address shortly. So welcome to all the delegates. With these opening remarks, I now request Professor Jaideep Basu, Chairperson, Department of Physics, IAC, to say a few words to the gathering.
Okay, good morning. I can say a warm welcome, although it may not be as warm now in Bangalore, but nevertheless a warm welcome to all the participants and delegates to this 42nd meeting of the ASI, which is, I'm told, this being hosted on this campus for the first time. of course, along with co-hosts ISRO and the Nehru Planetarium. And I'm glad that we have representatives of both these organizations here. What you just heard and what I just heard is, I think, a testimony to the strength of this community. 750 odd and more participants, which is a testimony to the thriving field. And I think, as an outsider to this field, I feel that I sense a lot of excitement in current times because of activities within the country, various probably initiatives, but also globally. And I think sort of a nice harmony in terms of instrument development, observation, theoretical activities, as well as high performance computing and modeling. I think these are very essential components in most fields. I come from condensed matter, but in most fields. But even so, it is coming forth in astronomy and astrophysics. As probably all of you know, that just a background about how IASC comes into the picture or came into the picture. There is something called a joint astronomy program. I'm sure all of you have heard about it. It has been one of the most successful programs anywhere probably, and we have a lot of very good people who have come out, and they are doing pretty well across the country and elsewhere. That's formed around 40 years, more than 40 years, 4 decades. So we heard ASI was about 5 decades, and the JAP program, as it is called, was formed about 4 decades. I believe the program, the astrophysics group, so-called in ISC, was formed a few years after that, probably around 1986, 87. And I think the JAP program at the beginning had all these components as I see today. That means it had the involvement of RRI, Indian Institute of Astrophysics, ISRO, and of course ISC, as it kind of emerged, and a new branch where traditionally the physics department was condensed matter oriented, got into this. And I think it has been a very, very successful journey from the department point of view, if I may point out. So I think I'll not dwell too much more, but the only thing that I would like to add is it gives us great pleasure on behalf of the department as well as the institute that we see now a very diverse group of people, faculty members in the department, working in theoretical aspects, modeling, computation, as well as observation. And you kind of name any areas in this broad field of astronomy and astrophysics, from solar physics to, for example, gravitation, astrophysical, fluid dynamics, turbulence, cosmology, star formation, galaxy formation. I mean, you name it. I mean, it's just basically there is activity everywhere. And I hope over the next 2-3 days, this meeting of such a large number, probably almost the entire community of astronomy and astrophysics in India, can deliberate on several of these. I see there are 5 parallel sessions, can deliberate on several of these aspects, including new development in instrumentation and observation, but also the theoretical and computational modeling, and build better synergy and collaboration between these different groups, subgroups within IISc. So I welcome you all again, and I hope you have a very vibrant and exciting time during the meeting, but also can find time to go around the campus and in Bangalore. Okay, so thank you all for coming here.
Thank you, Professor Basu. I next invite Dr. B.R. Guruprasad, Director, JNP, and our co-host to address the participants.
Thank you, Sarita. and Honorable President of the Astronomical Society of India, galaxy of dignitaries on and off the dais. I'm sure that I can use this word in this context, galaxy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on the occasion of the 42nd annual meeting of Astronomical Society of India, let me say that along with the Indian Space Research Organization and the Indian Institute of Science, Jawaharlal Nehru Planetarium JNP base is proud to be one of the co-hosts of this event. As part of this meet, I am happy to say that JNP is hosting a series of public outreach programs of ASI. Yesterday we had a very wonderful lecture by Dr. Anil Bharadwaj on Chandrayaan missions. JNP, which was instituted in 1989, is very active in science popularization and non-formal science education. About 4 lakh people on the average visit planetarium annually. We have very interesting and in-house produced sky theater shows, which are very popular indeed. In the recent past, it has further enhanced our outreach potential by live coverage and commentary of Chandrayaan 3 launch and landing, as well as Aditya L1 launch. They were very successful events at JNP last year. Through science popularization, we are striving to inculcate scientific attitude and a sense of inquisitiveness in the general public, especially students pertaining to science in general, astronomy and space in particular. Through our non-formal educational programs like science education in early developmental phase SEED, science over weekends, this is for high school students and PU students, and research education advancement program REAP, and refresher courses for teachers as well as summer schools for students and teachers. We have a lot of programs like this, and through these, we are furthering science education at different levels. REAP in physics, biology, and mathematics are already ongoing programs, and we are planning to take up REAP chemistry also in the future. Thanks to the proactive support of the government of Karnataka, I would like to stress this here. We have a beautiful new building complex at JNP that can enable us to pursue our goals with added vigor. We are ready to showcase the achievements of major scientific institutions of India in the new complex. So, the opportunities are quite wide indeed for us. With new complex in the offing, we solicit cooperation from astronomical institutions of the country to train planetarium engineers, not the educators, engineers themselves, across India in astronomy and related sciences. In this regard, we at JNP are ready to host such an initiative. We seriously and earnestly seek cooperation of scientific astronomical institutions in this regard. I would like to stress this. So, we hope to have fruitful cooperation and collaboration with premier scientific institutions of India in space and astronomy to enthuse and galvanize our large student community, which I'm sure will take our country to still greater heights in science and future. Once again, welcome you all. Good morning to you all. Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you, Dr. Guru Prasad. Professor Kaushal Verma, Dean of the Division of Physical and Mathematical Sciences at IISc, has been very supportive of the organization of the meeting, and I now invite him to say a few words to the delegates.
Good morning and very warm welcome to everyone. Very happy to see the large turnout here. This is a short sign that the next few days are going to be very fruitful in terms of the academic component and all the other events that are being planned. As you have heard, this is the 42nd edition of the ASI conference. And just to sort of, share my thoughts on this occasion, I personally feel that this conference is distinctively different from other large-scale conferences that I have seen or attended in this precise hall here, this very hall, for a number of reasons. Apart from the academic component that you all see in the program, I'm very happy and very thankful to several people here who have put in a lot of effort in making sure that there is something even for the layman and students. The Public Outreach Committee of the ASI has been very active in making sure that there are takeaways for everybody in this event here. Astronomy being such a subject, there's something that it offers to every man in society. Apart from that, I would like to, on behalf of IAC, thank the ASI for bringing this prestigious conference to Bangalore. And I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to ISRO as well as the planetarium for allowing us to be a part of this team that is hosting this event. This is a wonderful opportunity, so many thanks to the other hosts. Planning something like this is not an easy task. A lot of people here have put in back-breaking work spread over months. This includes faculty members, students, and colleagues from other institutions as well. I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you, without whose help this would not have been possible. So thank you very much, and I wish the conference every success. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Verma. Our chief guest, Shri M. Shankaran, is the director of the U.R. Rao Satellite Center and a distinguished scientist of the Indian Space Research Organization. He is a leading figure in the realization of various types of satellites to meet the national requirements in the areas like communication, navigation, remote sensing, meteorology, and interplanetary exploration. He was instrumental in the successful realization of the unique design for power generation and distribution systems for the interplanetary missions like Chandrayaan-1 and 2, Mars Orbiter Mission, Astrosat, etc. He is also spearheading the avionics system design, realization, and qualification for the Gaganyaan program. He played a pivotal role in the successful soft landing of Chandrayaan-3 last year, a golden letter day in the history of India's space prowess. He has fostered the industries in the country for fabrication and testing of solar panels, battery systems, etc. I now invite Shri Shankaranji to formally inaugurate the proceedings by addressing the delegates.
Thank you, Professor. And, good morning to everyone here. For all the dignitaries who are on the dais and the illustrious colleagues and friends who are there of the dais. Actually, I'm very happy as soon as I entered this hall. I felt very happy because I work in engineering technology domain, and basically I'm from a physics background, and as all physicists know, we think that with the present trend of engineering, software, and coding taking the maximum, the cream of the, and of course management and finance taking the cream of the students, I think most of the physicists will always have a worry about what will happen to the future of science when bright youngsters do not take up physics and other science subjects. But as soon as I entered this hall, I saw so many young people here, and it was very, very heartening, and I'm very, very happy to see this many young people who are interested in basically physics, mathematics, and allied subjects. So thank you for the younger members here for taking this interest and joining this 42nd meeting of the Astronomical Society of India. And compliments to the seniors who are here, who somehow in some way have influenced these youngsters either as their students or as co-workers. If that is the reason, all of you are influenced and here, and they also deserve the big congratulations for this. Now, this is a big country. 140 crore people are there now, and it is growing. And for a big country like this, though on its own, more than 1,000 members for a society like Astronomical Society looks quite impressive. But for a country of 140 crore people, I think we can still increase this number by a large multiplier factor. So that is the point I wanted to speak about during this this speech in this opportunity, because it is quite understandable as first and second generation people who are getting into handsome salary package. It is quite natural for the youngsters to look at highly paying jobs in coding and finance and banking. But once that one or two generations the people have got into and their basic needs have been taken care of, I think it will be good that the people are made to point their attention towards more significant activities related to science and engineering and technology, because even though we have been talking about very ancient astronomers who have been doing it for more than 2,000 years, we are all very happy and proud of what is our past, but what we are interested is in our future. So for our future as a nation to be bright, it is important that we inspire the younger generation, particularly those who are right now in schools and entering into colleges, to think that a career in science and research is worth a while. That is what is going to sustain the activities like that of the Astronomical Society of India, because it cannot be sustained by only few senior scientists and their students and few elite educational institutions which will propagate this activity in the country. It is not sustainable. This needs to be taken to the second, third, and fourth tier institutions, so that such a large, vast population is there. There is a scope for many bright people to come up with great ideas. I think in comparison with our population of this country, in world, we are about 1/4 of the world population. So naturally, we should have a proportional number of people who are able to come up with newer and outstanding work in science and technology. So my point why I'm telling all these things to this audience is that more than the senior people here, I think this responsibility has to be now borne by the younger members here, who, in addition to the work what you people are doing, your research activities, should also look at a way of popularizing the work and create interest among the next and the following generation. Because I will tell you a case in point, because we are all very proud of AstroSat, more than 800 users, more than 250 publication. But what is the, other than the people who have actually use the data of AstroSat, what is the reach of a satellite like AstroSat and the outcome from that, what level of reach it has achieved among ordinary students or even school children. I would like to get it's a reasonable that answer, but I'm sorry that at least in my understanding, the outcome that has come from AstroSat has not even been made known to people of this country. In the name of publication, and we cannot put out any result out before publication. We are actually hoarding the information and not allowing the good and exciting outcomes that come out of science missions. Not necessarily AstroSat is a case in point, because I'm from ISRO, so I'm talking about a work related to ISRO. Like that, different people working in different institutions are having a number of outcomes. But how these outcomes are being conveyed to the general public, and particularly to the younger students, so that we can, at least a very small fraction, maybe 0.0001% of the students, whether we are able to inspire them to take up activities in science and research. That is what is the point I am trying to convey here. So it is not just sufficient that we do outstanding work. We bring out excellent publications, and results are being cited by top researchers around the world. All these are very good, but along with that, we also should look at a way to carry this message and the importance of activities in the domain of science and research to the next and following generations. That is what I thought will be the lasting legacy for any one of us who have been working in the science and technology area. I'm happy to note that, in fact, I was talking to Professor Banerjee. He was telling me that many of the people who are in this auditorium are not actually members of ASI. It's a good thing. It's a very happy thing that this kind of conference workshops are not getting limited to only like the old boys club, only those people who are involved in the society. So it is a good thing that people other than the members who are potentially future members of this society and researchers on their own in future, it is a happy thing, and I think this needs to spread, because still for a country of 140 crore people, the number of people who are actually getting interested in doing science and research is quite small. And with due apologies to the senior people here, today many of the university colleges who are teaching science and mathematics at the undergraduate and postgraduate level are not actually getting the required number of students to fill their classrooms. That is also a fact. That in extraordinary situations, somebody a degree in undergraduate degree and postgraduate degree in science. But in most cases, particularly in Tier 2 and rural areas, the choice of science education becomes that you are unable to get an entry into an engineering college or a medical college. That is a fact. That is what I think we all have to recognize. And it is a thing which is required to be changed. It cannot be like this. We cannot leave the responsibility of carrying forward science and research in India to those people who have not chosen science as by choice, as a career by choice. So that is what I wanted to convey. I'm sure, madam, maybe I have set the cat among the pigeons, not really probably the organizers would not have expected me to speak like this, but this is what really I felt that there is a need that the science and research should also move out of the elite institutions and educational institutions as well as organization. It also should reach the general public and the students. That is what I wanted to say. And in fact, compared to many other societies which are involved in science and research, it appears that the astronomical society is having a better penetration among students. That is the reason why I thought I will open up and speak about this here, so that this can be further strengthened. Maybe a couple of suggestions that it may be good that we write some popular science articles and make it available to students, particularly the people who are coming at the high school and higher secondary. That is the most impressionable age and time for the students. If we are able to, in fact, I myself took up physics only because of that. At that time, the history of the greatest scientists of the 20th century and the late 19th century, that was written by so many of the Western scientists. What inspired me to get into physics? So I'm sure that as a rural town boy, if I can read that and get inspired to get into physics, I'm sure that now with the information technology and the reach of internet and the proliferation of mobile phone, this kind of information, if it is made available in a way which is understandable by our younger and Mofussil area students, particularly in vernacular, it would be very, very inspiring for the students. And we can expect that instead of choosing mathematics, physics, or any of the science subjects as a last resort, it can become their first choice in future. In fact, that is what the society like the ASI should be looking at. So now coming back to our own activities, as my friend Professor Bharadwaj will tell, the ISRO's activity itself has started by Professor Sarabhai at the PRL premises. So he is very fond of telling that PRL is the mother of ISRO. So, and now for the last 40-50 years, ISRO had its own priorities based on the guidelines set by Professor Sarabhai in late 60s. But now ISRO also has understood that in addition to those activities, we need to take a more active and more elaborate role in popularizing and getting into science instruments and particularly space-based instruments, which is not really very easy for every one of the researcher to get access to. So now we are in a very sweet spot, particularly after the last year's successes. Everybody is, including the government of India, is asking us, you do more of the same. That is why there is now a rush for identifying new instruments which can go on into space. There are a lot of opportunities. So this many young people here, and I am sure multiplied by so many, a factor of 10 or 100, so many people are there outside who are interested in taking up work in this area. I think it is the right opportunity now for India to leverage this moment, because this moment has to be recognized and leveraged. So right now, it appears that the entire ecosystem is welcoming activities in science, particularly space and space-based instruments development, and studying the sun, moon, and rest of the universe. So it is only the imagination, your own imagination is going to be the limit for what are the possibilities in future. And with very, very distinguished senior members of this society, who will be, I'm sure, happy to guide the younger members of this audience. I hope that we will be having many achievements in the domain of astronomy and in all branches of the astronomy. Thank you very much for calling me and asking me to be part of this gathering. And thank you once again for all the members here who are present here, particularly to the younger members. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Shankaranji, for sharing your views about space sciences and for your support both to the participants of the meeting as well as to the society. I would next like to invite Professor Jasjeet Bagla, who is the chair of the Scientific Organizing Committee, to give an overview of the scientific program of the meeting.
Thank you, Sarita. Before I talk about the scientific program, I would like to thank the hosts, ISC, ISRO, and JNP for putting together all the local arrangements. And at being held at ISC, I think it is also a fitting tribute to Arnab and Chanda, who kind of held the core of the joint astronomy program and astronomy in this department for many years before younger people started joining in. Now, of course, it's a flourishing group with more than half a dozen very active members, and it's a go-to place for young people. Coming to the scientific program, we have 10 plenary talks and about a similar number of review talks in parallel sessions. We have a total of around 500 contributed papers. The number which was selected was closer to 600, but some people have not put up posters. Maybe they will do it later. About 150 oral presentations and more than 350 poster presentations which are there. And they are from a very diverse set of institutions and age groups. One thing which I would like to mention is that with a very enthusiastic participation from younger astronomers, one thing which we are lacking is more active participation from faculty members in particularly astronomy institutions, because we do need to have enough interaction across different age groups so that younger people can be mentored. They are aware of opportunities, and senior people who play a role in faculty selection in various places are also aware of people who are there on the ground. So I think it'll be good, maybe from the ASI side, we can convey it to all the directors that, at least make sure that 20-25% of the faculty attends the program in full. Just one note before I close. We are painfully aware of gender imbalance in plenary speakers this time. It was not by design. It just so happened that a couple of speakers turned down or pulled out at the last moment. And but I think in all the other categories, like review talks in parallel sessions, chairpersons, jury members for various awards, we have a fairly good balance, and we hope that we will be able to come back to a more balanced gender representation in the next year. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jasjeet. I now invite Professor Deepankar Banerjee, President ASI, to deliver the presidential address. As this is a PowerPoint presentation, I will request the delegates to please step off the stage so that it will be easy to view the presentation. And I would like to mention that the ASI vision document will be released towards the end of the presidential address.
और मुझे लेटर भी दे दी। Hello, hello. Some of the lights also have to go off. Yeah. Is the table blocking the view? Is the tables blocking the view, or it's okay? Yeah, it's fine. So we can leave the tables. It's okay. Good morning. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and very nostalgic moment for me as well. Some of us, directly or indirectly, are beneficiaries of the Joint Astronomy Program. So it's just not the IASC students, but students from ISRO, students from IA, RRI have got benefits of the lectures, and some of the pioneers of the JAP program are there in the audience. It's a bit nervous for me. But it's really, really a very special moment for some of us. So as I move, first I would like to acknowledge how we have come this far. And in this, I would like to acknowledge some individuals who are there, the past executive committee members in the audience. We have not made a separate arrangement for formally, felicitating them, but we are very happy that they are here with us today. Professor Ramsagar, he was the vice president in this. Then we have Professor R.C. Kapoor. He's also here, ever young. He managed the funds in this period. Rajaram, he's there top. We attended his classes, but he couldn't take the risk of coming down the stairs. Thank you, Rajaram, for coming in. We have Dr. Satyanarayanan. He was a younger faculty. We played cricket together. I think Satya is here somewhere in the audience. He promised that he will be coming in. I can't see him probably here. And then, of course, Sita. And the next is Ajit. I can't say Professor Ajit Kembhavi, but Ajit, who has really guided us to reach us here. So thank you very much for coming in. I must also really acknowledge great contributions from Professor G. Srinivasan. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today, but he really painstakingly taken this effort on behalf of ASI to produce this 40 lecture series, which is there in YouTube, and it is very well appreciated globally. I must point out we are getting a lot of good feedback about it, and it's quite actually, I would say, really heartening to see a person beyond that 80, he has taken that much of effort to do this recording at home with all the technical, requirements. He learned how to do this, so he did this for us. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here, but we would like to really convey our really greetings for him. What I decided today is I will probably do a little bit of, scatter here and there. I started as a person doing theory, but then I realized soon, particularly in the field of astronomy, data actually speaks about everything. So when we are looking at now the community, first is to look at what are the community presence what we have. So I will present you some data, simple data in a graphical way. This is what is ASI's 2024 participation here. As you heard, that the mode of presentations and so on. So we have the largest in-person attendance of any annual meeting. And also for your benefit, we have also divided it into different form of this presentation, which you see here.
Then what is very important is to see the age distribution. So these are 40% are the PhD students. Okay, and then you have master students. So we are also seeing a new trend that the master students and even undergraduate students are able to do research quality so that they're able to make a scientific presentation in a scientific meeting of ASI standard. Because ASI always, evaluates the abstracts based on the scientific content of the abstract. So this is, I think, a very, very, heartening, and, our chief guest, Mr. Shankaran, you see that the trend, how the youngsters are really getting expert in handling data and understanding the scientific requirements. As pointed out by Jazid, I really would love to see this percentage of 26% of only faculties attending annual meetings. We do need to have our presence here more. Age group, again, below 26, 216, 26 to 35, 316 people. And of course, the gender, ratios have also been highlighted here. As you can see, sir, that, really, we are probably, have to really have a serious thought why the senior faculties are not coming, because without the presence of the senior faculty, the scientific, discussions and all that do not go into that at that level. So we have to do something about it. But this is really heartening to see that how things are growing in the younger generation, because please note that these are almost professional astronomers to be, because they are publishing, in scientific journal. The trend way back, last 9 years trend I'm showing again, this data is only from the ASI's annual meeting I'm showing. It reflects a bit on the community in the country. We are doing that exercise because government is actually demanding that from us, and ASI has taken this responsibility, because if you want to get a funding from the government, it is very important to showcase, what the, data user community you have. So as you see here that we had about 300 odd on an average participation. Of course, we had online because of the pandemic participation. We had one meeting which was hybrid, so of course that had the largest participation. But then the last ASI meeting we had about, again, going back to in-person, about 500. But then we are really, jumping up. In fact, we are sorry that we had to stop the registration because it was unprecedented. We didn't have option of accommodating more than 750 people in this audience, and this was a fire, hazard would have been. So we had to stop the registration of this meeting a few days back. So that's, again, a really learning lesson from us. So, but it shows also the community growth. Now, what I have also tried to do is just taking a cumulative figure from the last 3 years, attendance. So there's no degeneracy here, so I'm not counted 3 times here because I have attended all the 3 meetings. So you could see very clearly, of course, IIA dominates the participation, about 150 total number of things. Aries is there, second. Then glad to see, the PRL and Udaipur Solar Observatory comes up. TIFR is also about 50. But then the other players, the new IITs, the ISRs, I think this is again very heartening. And again, this is something for the chief gets to see that the community, and this is important to grow this bar here to at this level. So this is only 25 institutions, but there are many more who are, there in the game now. This is just the PhD students. So PhD students attending in last 3 years. Of course, these two, Aries and IA, dominates. Aries is hired here because we were the host in one of the meetings, so all the students were also the volunteers. But what you see here is that this is the PhD students' participation total in this. So now, as a community or ASI as a society, we are trying to now promote certain activities. This is one we have again revived. So Young Astronomers Meet is a scientific meeting organized by the PhD students only. And they have SOC, they have LOC, so they have had difficulties in the past to get the funds. So now ASI has taken the responsibility to do the major funding. We are also trying to find out alternative resources, but we have revived this. The last EM took place in Nainital. We hosted it at Aries. Next one is happening in Christ in Bangalore. So I got just some data from the organizers. So it's happening in 6th to 9th March. This is the data I got from them. So there are about 157 applications. That means they're PhD students working in different locations within the country. SOC selected 88 applications. Of course, always it is the host challenge to accommodate outside students particularly. And this is the pie chart in terms of the subject, because we want to study also where the trend is in terms of the younger minds, where they want to do. And it looks like it's a pretty good distribution. Of course, the high energy physics takes about a quarter of the pie. Then we also look at the institutional versus university participation, because in the YAM or also in the Astronomical Society of Annual Meeting, we ensure that the university participants are supported and are accommodated in a better way. So here also you could see that the university sector is about 23%. And these are all PhD students only I'm reflecting, and of course those who applied for the YAM. And you could see the other players, the IITs are again, starting making a bigger, contributions. Glad to see, NCRA, TIFR, IUCA is also making a big contribution. Then I will come just showcase, because I know these particular students who are doing solar physics within country and abroad. So there is a group called INDUS, and they named themselves an Indian Network for Dynamical and Unified Solar Physicists. And I think they are doing fantastic work. They're trying to collect, collaborate with each other, even while they are distributed across the globe. And some of the INDUS members are here. I got these slides in the middle of the night yesterday. They have done this, huge pie. I have to probably explain a little bit on this. So this is the portion of the PhD students, and the rest is the postdoc. So it's, again, as I said, PhD and postdocs, and then also the gender balance is highlighted here, and how many there in India, and how many are there abroad, and so on. And then within the solar physics also, we were trying to, see where the interests are. So, of course, the transients, it's just not in astronomy. Transients in solar seems to be the most attractive subject area. So this is something which, as a society we want to study, and as also a solar physicist myself, I want to study when we project for further funding. So these kind of things are very, very important, and this community is helping me out. They have also access to several tools. They maintain lots of software tools to be shared and so on. That's their graphical, and this is weighted by their presence also. Of course, you could see the good number in Europe and in US. So it's almost really, now it looks like it's a comparable. If you just look at the density and the total number, it's almost a comparable scenario that how many, really bright, just solar physics I'm saying because, because it's my field, I have been connected with them a little more and taking this data. So they have lots of these, activities. As I mentioned, I am a solar physicist. I can't give a seminar without saying a few slides on the sun. So I'm taking this, advantage of within the presidential address and to link why I'm doing this with the rest of the, sessions. Of course, we have been studying the sun. There are different scales of variability in the sun. There are short-time variability, which happens in seconds, minutes, hours, days. That is what you see here. But there are also long-term variability, which you see here. So this is the magnetic field of the sun, which has been measured in terms of the sunspots. Later on, there have been other proxies which have been used to track its history for last 400 years. And with other proxies, we are trying to go back into the millennia time scale. But if I look back even for the space era, recent ones, so this is sort of the sunspot solar cycle it shows. And of course, there are a lot of theory which tries to predict what is going to be the future. So here again, as I pointed out, solar physics is also an area where the theory and the data has to really, really work hand in hand. You hardly can do any theory without looking at the data. In that context, this is again, I'm plotting solar cycle. And as a journey of the Aditya mission, I want to just share with all of you people and how much time typically it takes for such a big mission to realize. We had a meeting in RRI way back in 2006. Again, this was initiated by Professor G. Srinivasan through the vision document which ASI made. He was incidentally the president of the society also at that point of time. So a discussion started. Of course, we were discussing yesterday about this as well. He was a member of the ADCOS. There are other members. Arnavda is also here, who was a member of the ADCOS here. So we started about a low Earth orbit concept, and the order was actually, sanction order was also given around 2009 to build a imaging coronagraph with only one channel, with only imaging capability for a low Earth orbit mission. But then we had a successful Mangalyaan mission. Of course, when Mangalyaan was also already planned, ISRO, particularly Professor U.R. Rao, I again have to acknowledge his enormous vision and dedication for the overall community. He sort of, almostly championed this concept that why are we only thinking about a low Earth orbit, why not beyond? And he suggested L1. It was not from the community presented to ISRO that we would like to go to L1. So this is amazing. It only can happen in India, I must also point out. But with their all this support, this was expanded to Lagrange 1 mission with 7 payloads, expanding the coronagraph's capabilities to imaging spectroscopy, spectropolarimetry. Of course, we had solar minima, coincided with the COVID challenge. We had taken a time, but the payload was delivered early last year. But again, amazing efficiency of ISRO. It doesn't happen anywhere else in the world that the delivery of the payloads and the launch is separated by only 6 to 7 months. It's typically 1.5 years, at least. I know I'm involved with some other mission. So again, really, really thanks to ISRO, we have launched there, and then, we have started collecting. This is a slide which Lika actually showed the other day. We also have to realize that astronomy cannot be done in isolation. We need networking. We also need to know what is the international community facilities in ground and space available. So this is a busy plot, shows about the missions which are looking at heliophysical system. So in the context of the solar physics, I also must point out, we don't identify ourselves anyway solar physics anymore. We say we are heliophysicists. Of course, first we are astrophysicists, then we are looking at the heliophysics as a coupled system. The sun, earth, and the interplanetary space is coupled. Everything is controlled in some sense by what is happening in the sun. So these are the many different satellites which are there. Some ones are different colored, some are in the formulation stage. Solar Orbiter Parker 4 is still traveling to the final destinations. Some are extended observations because they are carrying certain instruments which are not there anywhere, so they got extensions. For example, SOHO got extensions of beyond 2 solar cycles. But I would like to highlight, and I will share this with Lika, now we are there. And we are there with a little bang. I must point out that we are there at a very lovely little vantage point at Lagrange 1. So my point again is that astronomy has to be done with a collaboration within the country, abroad, and beyond. So again, from the Astronomical Society of India, this is again another effort which we are taking to participate, or we have submitted our bid for the IAU General Assembly, 34th. So there is a team of players who are working on it. We submitted, ASI has submitted with the support from other institutions. We are planning to host, or proposing to host, the GA in Mumbai in 2030. Our bid has been shortlisted as one of the top 4. We don't know what is our number in that top 4. And a bidding committee has been constituted, and TIFR is taking a lead here, and we are working on the final bid proposal. We will also have a booth in the General Assembly, which is in August at Cape Town. So ASI formally will present, the team in the General Assembly in Cape Town with a lot of outreach, programs planned. And we will know the results of our bid at the end of this particular IU. For more information, please contact Aniket here. Again, I take this prerogative to say also another very important element in terms of astronomy and user community building, namely the data policy. I'm at ARIES. I take this privilege to take this forward and showcase. I've been with my colleagues, I've been pushing hard, whatever we have observed over the last 10 years, to be made available to the public. Incidentally, the biggest optical telescope, which is a special liquid mirror telescope, 4 meter, we have made the data public. The second data release has happened, I think, 2 days back. Kuntal is here. Kuntal can help you. I checked it yesterday night. It is there in the cloud. So the idea is the ILMT, whatever data is collected after the calibration, and we are trying to minimize that time. Now it is about 3 months. In future, hopefully, it will be only a month or so before the data will be made available to the public. Why am I again highlighting this? For any ground and space-based programs, if we really want to expand the user community, we have to also have the data accessible to them. Because today, astronomy, as I mentioned, it's really hard to do without high-quality data. So this is, I think, a sort of statement I would like to convey to my colleagues, and I think collectively we are trying to address that as well in future. This is something I have borrowed from Srikumar's plot for another vision document. I'm actually stepping into why we needed a vision document. What do you see here in this vision document, which again Anupama is here, we can elaborate it further, that these are the operational facilities. Of course, Aditya, this particular plot was done a year and a half back. So Aditya, so this line has to be shifted a little bit because Exposat and Aditya has moved here. So I'm just trying to highlight again, sometimes we do the vision document, it has also a validity. We need to update that vision document in a regular interval. But the point is that we are really fortunate to have so many space programs which are in the pipeline and the proposal mode, of course. And we have, of course, mega projects, and all these 3 are now approved projects. When this was done, I don't think it was a cabinet approval was still there, but we are glad that all these projects are there. So this vision document was again started preparing 1 year back. But now we have really moved forward. So ASI also completed 50 years a couple of years back, and as a 50-year celebration, we took up certain tasks. And we thought about preparing a vision document from the community. So this is the vision document, which will be released soon. This is real contribution from the entire community, I must highlight there. So as I pointed out or remarked that why another vision document? There is one vision document which PSA's office has initiated. Then there is ISRO's vision document. But still, I think at large, people do not have access to this. And the people who have been involved with the vision document, publicly we don't know. So also, the highlight of the ISRO vision document is highlighting for the space program, whereas Mega Science was the highlight for the PS's vision document, because government want to really prioritize the funding in those mega projects. But again, it is just not these mega projects which will take us. And as you pointed out, we have to think about the users in smaller institutes and other places. Do they access, we need to have immediate solution for that demand as well. So I must again point out, There is a large community involvement here. I would like real thank to the editors. They are here. I will call them in after a few slides are presented here. So it's a summary document which is here, but each chapters, are really fat. So the overall, I think it stands out to be 400 page. But the summary document we will be, releasing soon. And so what are the science goals? So each, section discusses the status of the field, identified key science questions to be addressed, and provide a set of recommendations to address this over short, mid, and long-term timescale. So this is what is important, that immediately we have to have some actions, then something in 5 years down the line, and then some are 10 to 15 years down the line. And whether we can prioritize, because when we go to the government funding agencies, they always say, what is your priority? So you have to choose the priority, so that in some way we could collectively, prioritize some of the programs. Facility-wise, observing facilities, computing facilities, human resource, and the societal, connect. So as you have probably noted, from our activities, we really put a lot of emphasis with the connect with the society, with the gender equity, with the outreach, and with the youngsters' activities we want to support, because they should guide us the direction which society should move forward. So the document is a summary, as I mentioned, more detailed articles which were written up for each of the subject areas covered here, and provides a more in-depth discussion and the justification for the recommendations given here. We intend to publish these articles as a collection in a special issue of the Journal of Astrophysics and Astronomy, which is co-published with ASI. So this is our only astronomy Indian journal. I think we have to, again, another big aspect. We are discussing how to promote our own journal, and the editors are here, and I hope, we will be able to. Just again, my biases, I will take one slide from the solar context, how this coupling helps. So each chapter have tried to address the key science questions. So first you identify the key science questions, then you address to answer these questions what you need in terms of observing facilities, computing facilities, human resources. So that's been the theme here. So it's quite pictorial. And we think, it will draw attention to the funding agencies as well. A few summary of the major recommendations. For Indian astronomy to be competitive globally, we require multi-wavelength, multi-messenger facilities. I think there is no doubt about this, that multi-wavelength is the key for any branches of astronomy. And to also support continuous funding and support the existing or which are already been accepted. You certainly cannot dump any program and take up a new one. Continuity is very, very important. So expanding the facilities in Ladakh, because Ladakh region have been really been identified for for the sub-millimeter. Of course, GMRT and eGMRT is really making a big leap forward. Optical infrared. I actually discovered that this 4-meter telescope, which was conceptualized more than 10 years back, is going to be the largest optical telescope for even next decade. We have no optical facility of 4-meter or even higher going to be available in 10 to 15 years. So this is an alarming situation. So what's the solution? We have to really, of course, TMT we were all hoping, but it got delayed. So for Indian community to get an optical and infrared thing, Devasal is currently the only facility going to be alive for next 10 years at least. So I think some major thrust has to go for a larger optical telescope of 10-meter class, maybe the network of telescope facility for survey. We need to actually maximize our utilization of the 2-meter class telescopes as well, or even a smaller 1-meter class telescope in a network fashion. And whether it is possible to have observing time from other 10-meter class globally available. This is again another options what we have to fill in this gap. If we don't get our own next 10, 15 years, this younger community, how will they survive? So should we participate in international programs where already, such, class is available? And of course, the UV astronomy, and there is INCEST, which is under consideration. A larger 6-meter class facility at the long term with the international collaboration, whether we look at that. So global scenario we have to study, and then probably we have to participate to fill up this gap as well. Again, some of the multi-wavelength aspects have been highlighted here. X-ray, short-term, long-term. I've highlighted some of the projects which are already in advanced stage. Shorter wavelengths, you have maize, which is almost coming up, grapes. It really needs to have a continuity there. A 2-meter class large solar telescope from Merak has been highlighted or sort of projected for quite some time. Because of the COVID, we had to actually wait for further funding, but I think it is highly timely now to push for it, because we have Aditya in space, and as we heard yesterday, though it was a nominal mission for 5 years, so we are guaranteed for 1 solar cycle observation. So we have time to build this NLST, which is in a very mature stage in its proposal and so on, to get it. And we were also discussing what is beyond Aditya L1. Should we think about L4 or L5? That would be a big achievement for ISRO and for us as well. And of course, the lunar and planetary missions are in the pipeline. Mega space missions such as CMB Bharat is also to be considered. This is my last but one slide. Application to the new technology. We have to also participate in this ecosystem where we often discover that there are certain technology is preferred, or at the time is drawing a lot of funding. So can we really participate in that that particular kitty as well? National supercomputing facility, this is, I think, made some progress. Of course, it is still a bit restricted to IITs, and some of the ISRs are trying to get in, but other astronomy institutions, whether we can get into that or not. Inclusive growth of human resources is essential for an optimal use of the future facilities. So this is the point I think we are highlighting again and again. The participation or inclusiveness of all the younger minds in the exercises which we are planning for future is very important. And that's why in this vision document, we had in-person meetings, we had online meetings, and postdocs who are even working abroad have participated actively in this document. I don't think from the government side, the committee members are chosen sometimes looking at how many gray hair you have. So dissemination of scientific outcomes, outreach, citizen science, etc. These are our mandate, and we have been highlighting this in ASI vision document also. There is another very, very important element, is the industry-academia interaction. Now, we understand NRF is coming. NRF funding is going to come from industry. Are we able to tap that funding? Because then you have to have a good connect with the industry. Industry has to realize the kind of things what we do, the skill sets what we generate through our different training program is equally, can be effective in industry. So apart from just not the human resources and other technology development or even building, space programs and all that, we need to participate in the exercises with the industry. So I think we have highlighted this industry academia interaction. You will see that we have a special session in this ASI meeting on that. So that's my last slide. And I like this statement, generated through an extensive and inclusive community-wide exercise. It is a document that reflects the aspirations of the Indian astronomers for the next decade and a half. A document of the community, generated by the community, for the community. Thank you for your attention. So probably I will request, the 3 editors to come here and we formally, release this vision document. Yeah, Divya, please. Again, I have not included or sort of spelled out the other names. Please go through it. We'll make it available to everybody, and eventually we'll publish in the bulletin. Please. Yeah. I will hand it over to you. Okay.
We will hand it over to you.
Sarita, all yours. Which one you want? Your presentation. Oh, sorry.
No problem. Move on to the very important activity of the ASI, the awards. There are 7 awards for the year 2023. We start with the ASI Lakshmi Narayan and Lakshmi Modali Award. The award is named after Dr. Modali Sharma's parents. The award is given each year in recognition of outstanding Indian contributions to astronomy, astrophysics. The prize is bestowed on a person who, according to the ASI, has made conspicuously important and outstanding contributions to astronomy and astrophysics, fundamental and applied, in the particular field of endeavor, which is his or her specialization. The prize is awarded on the basis of contributions made through work done primarily in India during the 5 years preceding the year of the prize. And the Lakshmi Narayan and Nagalakshmi Modali Award for Astronomy and Astrophysics for the year 2023 is conferred on P. Ajit of International Center of Theoretical Sciences, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Bangalore, for his impactful contributions to gravitational wave physics and astronomy, including the development of innovative methods of analysis of the gravitational wave data to significantly improve our understanding of the universe. I request Dr. Ajit to please come on stage and receive the award from President ASI. There will be a talk by Dr. Ajit in the evening session today. We now move on to the ASI Zubin Kembhavi Award. The Astronomical Society of India has instituted the Zubin Kembhavi Award, funded by Ajit and Asha Kembhavi. The objective is to promote observational and instrumentation work in astronomy and allied fields, and second, public outreach and education in astronomy and allied fields. Zubin Kembhavi, 37 years of age, is the younger son of Major Rajiv and Tasmita Kembhavi. They are here with us today. He has a brother and 3 cousins who are all at the top of their chosen professions. Zubin is probably the most gifted among the 5, but because of his extreme disability, he has not been able to translate his gifts to achievements. He attends various activities and therapies at an NGO, PAPCP, at Jeevan Bhima Nagar, which he likes very much, even adapting remarkably well to online sessions during the pandemic. He is passionate about music, enjoying all genres from Western and Hindustani classical to contemporary and retro pop in English, Hindi, and Kannada. Ajit and Asha Kembhavi have set up the ASI Zubin Kembhavi Award as a tribute to his fighting spirit and resilience while facing all the multiple challenges thrown at him. So the ASI Zubin Kembhavi Award in the area of observational and instrumentation work in astronomy and allied fields for the year 2023 is presented jointly to the Infrared Astronomy Group, Department of Astronomy and Astrophysics, TIFR, and the Chandrayaan-2 X-ray fluorescence experiment by CLASS and XSM teams. I request our chief guest, Sri M. Shankaran, to kindly step on stage to hand over the awards. I first request the team of Infrared Astronomy Group, led by Dr. Ojha, to please come on stage and receive the award. impact in the field of infrared astronomical instrumentation in India through their extensive and pioneering work spanning several decades. Their dedication has significantly enriched the astronomical community, notably in the areas of research, training, and instrument development. I now request the teams of Chandrayaan-2 X-ray fluorescence experiment by class and XSM payloads represented by Dr. Shama Narendranath and team, URSC ISRO, to kindly come on stage and receive the award. The Chandrayaan-2 class XSM teams are acknowledged for their remarkable achievement for the complete in-house design and construction of the payloads along with their consequential scientific findings. Their expertise has been a cornerstone in the indigenous development of various payloads. We next have an award that is instituted by ASI this year and is being given out for the first time, the ASI N. Ratnashri Science Journalism Award in Astronomy and Astrophysics. This award is given once in 2 years to science journalists for sustained contributions in astronomy and astrophysics being carried out in India. The award is funded by Patrick Dasgupta and Ujjwal Dasgupta. I believe Patrick is here. And the family of N. Ratnashri, and honors her memory, who made significant contributions in astronomy outreach and education amongst the general public as well as students. The ASI N. Ratnashri Science Journalism Award in Astronomy and Astrophysics for the year 2023 is awarded to Ms. Anjali Marar, Raman Research Institute, Bangalore. I request Ms. Anjali to please come on stage, and I request Professor Kaushal Verma to kindly come and confer the award. The award is for Ms. Anjali's consistent high-quality articles related to astronomy and astrophysics that not only make the scientific results accessible to the general public, but also we next have the Justice V.G. Oak Award for Outstanding PhD Thesis in Astronomy given by the Society. The objectives of the award is to encourage excellence among research students in India, and the award is given at the adjudication by a standing committee appointed by the ASI. The Justice Oak Outstanding Thesis Award for 2023 is awarded jointly to Dr. Shilpa Sasikumar and Dr. Harsh Kumar. We also have a recipient, honorable mention, to the Justice Oak Award, and who is Dr. Bishwajit Mandal. I now request Professor Banerjee to kindly confer the awards. I first request Dr. Shilpa to come on stage and receive the award. Dr. Shilpa Sasikumar, who performed her PhD thesis research at the National Center for Radio Astronomy, is being awarded for her outstanding contribution to enabling wide community. I now request Dr. Harsh to please come on stage and receive the award. Dr. Harsh Kumar, who performed his PhD thesis research at the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, is being awarded for his unique contribution to kindly come on stage and receive the award. Dr. Mandal, who performed his PhD research at Physical Research Laboratory, is recognized for his meticulous work on spectral modeling and analysis of data, primarily from the solar X-ray monitor. We next have the Young Astronomer Award for Best Publication. The aim of this award, instituted by the Society, is to motivate young Indian scientists to make outstanding research contributions in any aspect of astronomy and astrophysics and to publish results in any refereed journal of astronomy and astrophysics. And the ASI Young Astronomer Award for the Best Publication for the year 2023 is awarded to Dr. Saurabh Singh, Raman Research Institute, Bengaluru. I invite Dr. Saurabh to please come on stage, and our chief guest, Sri M. Sankaran, to please come and confer the award. The award is for the paper on the detection of a cosmic dawn signal in the radio background for the paper published in Nature Astronomy, May 2022. The next award is the ASI AstroSat Prize. The aim of this award is to motivate young Indian scientists to make outstanding contributions, science or instrumentation in astronomy and astrophysics using Indian space missions, and to publish the results in any refereed journal of astronomy and astrophysics. The award is partly funded from contributions by the team AstroSat and Dr. Sita. I request Dr. Banerjee to kindly give the award to Ms. Payal Nandi from the Indian Institute of Science, who has been given this prize for the year 2023. The award is for the paper Star Formation in Dwarf Seyfert Galaxy NGC 4395, evidence for both AGN and supernova feedback, for the paper published in Astrophysical Journal 2023. Next, we have the ASI New Discovery Award. The aim of this award is to motivate non-professional astronomers, such as amateur astronomers or students, excluding those doing PhD in astronomy, astrophysics, and related areas, to make astronomy and astrophysics-related discoveries. The New Discovery Award for the year 2023 is awarded to Kshitij Chavan, with a special mention to Salil Mune. And I first request Kshitij Chavan to please come on stage and receive the award from Dr. Banerjee. Kshitij Chavan of Savitribai Pune University and presently at Ayuka. From Khagol Mandal, who is from Khagol Mandal, is awarded for the discoveries of the sun-grazing comets using SOHO data. So these are the awardees for the year 2023, and I would really like to express ASI's appreciation and would like to thank the jury chairs as well as the members for sparing their invaluable efforts and time in selecting the awardees and thus helping ASI with this very significant activities. And finally, the ASI would also like to acknowledge and recognize the efforts and contributions of Professor G. Srinivasan and express our gratitude for creating and delivering a comprehensive online lecture series titled Astronomy and Astrophysics, an introductory survey aimed at bachelor's and master's students. The lecture series, available on YouTube, provides a rigorous yet pedagogically accessible introduction to contemporary astrophysics As a well-known teacher par excellence who has trained generations of astronomers in the country, Professor Srinivasan's lectures will continue to educate the future generations of students as well. So the ASI would like to acknowledge Professor Srinivasan's efforts with a plaque and a citation which Professor Banerjee will be handing out to him. Yes. And with this, we come to the end of the award function. I now invite Professor Nirupam Roy to deliver the acknowledgement.
Okay, sorry we are running a bit late, and even if you are keen to get your coffee, please be here with us for a few more moments. And also don't forget, we will have the group photo immediately after the end of the session here, before you can get your coffee and tea. Everyone talked about this being a meeting of 750 plus people, but the time for acknowledgement is not scaled by that. It's just 2 minutes. I'll try to be as quick as possible. Let me start. Respected Chief Guest, Sri Sankaran, Director, URSC, dignitaries on the dais who are like now here because of the logistic things, invited guests, participants, colleagues and friends. So we have started this 42nd meeting of the ASI here with this inaugural session. We are almost at the end of the inaugural session. Of course, morning shows the days, and with this very nice inaugural session, I think we can expect a very nice meeting for the next 4 days here. And to all the dignitaries who were invited for the program today, I would like to start by thanking them first for taking out their time and coming here and be with us for this long time. Your presence here is very encouraging and motivating to all of us, and it will make us to take the best out of this meeting for the next 4 days. I would also like to thank the ASI Executive Council member to give us all the support from the beginning when we started the organization of this meeting in all form. Of course, we got a lot of support from the institute when we proposed this, the idea, and we got all the support from the institute and of course also from the department. And it is, of course, we don't really need to acknowledge, but of course we need to remind the participants that it's a meeting which is jointly being organized by IISc, JNP and ISRO. So I again acknowledge the contribution from ISRO and from JNP in various forms. The SOC has put a very interesting program for the next 4 days, and thanks a lot for that to the team. And not to forget, apart from these main meeting activities that is happening here, there is an ongoing activities from the POEC, the Public Outreach and Education Committee of the ASI, that has started from, if I remember, from 27th onward, all over Bangalore, various ongoing activities are happening. And our sincere acknowledgement to that effort and activities from the team POEC. Of course, the workforce here who are taking care of these various aspects, starting from the administration and finance, managing the venue, all our people who are helping with that, the transport, the food, the guest house, particularly the guest house accommodation for some participants that we have got from the academy, from CPRI and from the Wood Sciences. And then one of the major thing I would like to acknowledge on behalf of the organizers is support from the sponsors. Of course, ASI has got very generous support from all these different astronomical institutes spread all over India, from ARISH, RRI, IIA, CMI, ISA Tirupati, ISA Kolkata, IIT Palakkad, IUCA, TIFR, MCNS, MAHE, and SK India Consortium. And then we also have very generous support from our sponsor, Agnikul, Edilsa, Modern Telescope, and Kalam Labs. So a big thank you to all of you for your support so that we can have this meeting organized here. And then I would, of course, like to thank my colleagues in the local organizing committee who are working for last couple of months, very busy, taking care of all of these things. But then more than that, the entire volunteer team, I'm not really going to say thank you to them, but all of us realize that this show will not run without their very active involvement and very enthusiastic participation in this whole thing. And finally, of course, any meeting, even with the sponsor and volunteers and LOC, is completely meaningless without very active participation from all of you. So finally, a big thank you to all the participants who are here and presenting your oral presentation, posters, listening to talks, interacting, and so on. So that's all I have for now. I would like to end with a very brief comment. I think Professor Jaideep Basu mentioned about the JAP program being more than 40 years old. It's actually, for very personal reason, I remember it's exactly 42 years old. So here is the coincidence. This is 42nd ASI. JAP is 42 years old. And at least, I guess, more than half of this participant here know the importance of the number 42, right? Number 42. Remember? Those of you who knows, right? Those who does not know. The thing is, for most of the meeting, we say that before you leave, try to get all your answers. Here, we know the answer, it's 42. So try to get all your questions sorted out before we end the meeting. Thank you very much. So, yeah, announcement about group photos. So right now we'll have the group photo here because, when we started, one of the challenging things we thought where we can take group photo of 750 plus participants. And this is the only place where we can take a group photo of 750 plus participants. So remain seated where you are. Maybe some of you from this age can try to move to the central part as much as possible. And we will have the group photo just here. Okay, so most of the people who are already at the center, you don't need to move around. We will have it here. Those who are at the edge, please organize a little bit and come to the central part so that we can get this thing.